to the first episode of the second season of Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. I'm with my co-host Alan at the beer stop once again. Alan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Great day, good beers, always a lot of fun.
And what are we doing today?
Well, we're kind of going through a lot of beer cellaring information today. So pretty much all the beers here, with the exception of one, you'll be able to cellar, store for 2, 3, sometimes even 10 years.
Great, and not only are they beers that you could cellar, they're also pretty much fall beers too, because it is the beginning of September.
It is fall, which means the kids are back at school, which means that it's 95 degrees out.
We had a lot of great things we did over the summer. I went to Vegas. I'm going to have a report in a later episode of the beers I tried out there. And we did the beer festival together, the Hazleton Rotary Wine and Beer Festival.
All the money goes to charity. Local kids get scholarships to go to college. Usually 3 to 5 different kids get monies, different denominations. But every year it just keeps getting a better and better event. It's not one of those beer fests where you stand in line, you wait for a half hour and get a little half shot, and then you move on.
Well, we'll have a full report on that next episode because we want to give it enough time. And we've got a packed show today because we also are going to Boyds Cardinal Winery. Let's talk about how to create a beer cellar. Now, a fresh beer is great, but some beers grow more complex with time and open up new flavor experiences. Much like wine, you can store some types of beer. So here's a few tips we have for you. When you're going to store your beer, basement's ideal. Temperature storage areas should be about 40 to 60 degrees, but never colder than 38. Maybe even use an old refrigerator. But you gotta keep your conditions surrounding your beer consistent. Agreed?
Yes. You can also use a wine cooler if you want. If you have the money and you want to just go out and buy a wine cooler, it's quick, it's easy, and you're done. You know, no overlapping of anything. You can keep the beers on their sides if you so choose. There's a whole big debate on that.
Yeah, where do you fall on that? Do you put them upright or do you put them on their side? What do you do with that?
Ideally, if they're beers that do have a cork, the idea is if you store them on their side, it keeps the cork moist, and then therefore it won't shrink, and then you don't have as much chance of getting air in it.
Oh, you said that word.
What?
Moist.
Moist.
It's a bad word. But so, I get it. Okay, yeah, I understand.
Correct. Now, the regular beers, you can store on its side. However, beers do tend to ferment a little bit more and have a little bit more sediment than a wine does. And when you're done with your wine, you pour it through a cheesecloth after you age it. So that will take out any things, little impurities. Beer you don't do that with, because that will kill the carbonation.
Right.
So that's why they kind of tell you to keep it upright.
Right. So
I would err on the side of caution and just go upright.
Okay.
But you can, if it does have a cork.
You want to keep that cork moist.
Yes, because if it's, this one I've been aging for 3 years now, and it's been on its side at my house, and you can see, the cork is just, it looks, like it's day old.
Oh, we got some of the private collection here today.
Yes. This will be probably, about another 5 to 8 years if we're still doing the show. We'll crack that open.
Great, I like that idea. And hopefully, we're still doing the show a couple of years from now, 5, 6, 7, why not?
I've got nothing planned.
Neither do I. We're going to take a break right now, but when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about cellaring. We're going to talk a lot about all these beers here in front of us that we're going to sample and which beers we can cellar and which beers, well, we don't want to and why. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more wine, hops, and road stops. Welcome back to Wine, Hops, and Road Stops on location here at the Beer Stop in West Hazleton with my co-host Alan. And fall is in the air, even though it is 90 degrees out. It's still almost fall. That means pumpkin spice everything. The girls are wearing their vests. They all look like Han Solo. They're ready for fall. And we got some fall beers lined up here. What do we got? What are we doing today?
Well, most of these beers, not only they're fall beers, but they can also be aged. So if you want to cellar them for a couple of years, you can. We'll start here with the Stone's Woo Stout.
Woo Stout?
Yes.
Okay, it's a weird...
it's a funky label. It's got nuts and berries and twigs and pretty much anything you could ever want in a beer.
Ale brewed with pecans, wheat, rye, and aged in bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
Now we're starting off with a pretty big beer. This
is a big beer. We're going kind of in the opposite progression.
Oh well, 11.5. So
that's really nice.
There's a lot of nut taste to it. I can taste the nuts in it.
And the nut kind of takes out a little bit of the harshness of the bourbon.
but right at the back end,
Then you
there's
get
your
bourbon.
barrel age,
Yep,
there's your bourbon.
You feel the bourbon right about here.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Excellent.
Yep, that would be a great beer to age, because again, the complexity of the beer will develop over time. That one you probably 5 to 10 years even age going out.
And the flavor will change as you age these.
Completely different. If you're able to take a fresh one and then a 10-year one later, if you have a time machine, you would think you're drinking two completely different beers. Absolutely.
What's next?
Okay, this is a Rose from Omegang. Ale with cherry, so it's an aged over cherry.
Okay.
You're getting into a little bit of the sour notes. And sours are big on aging because again, sours are closer to wines than most of your other beers.
Oh, so you can age sours also.
You can age sours as
I
well,
know
yes. Yep.
Now there's a lot of cherry taste this. And it's sour.
Yeah,
But it
but
can
it's
also taste the.
And even though it's cherry, it's not a sweet cherry.
cherry, yeah.
But it's not bitter like vinegar either.
No, it's not killing me because
No.
I'm not a big on sour, but this I could drink.
Yeah, no, that was nice. That was nice. And again, probably, particularly with the sours, as they age, they're going to get a little bit more softer in tones. Next is from the guys at Wicked Weed, who I have to give a personal thanks and salute to.
Thank you, Wicked Weed. Yeah, they
Yep.
did a nice interview with
They-
us at the beer festival. You'll see
They
that
did a
next
great
episode.
job, and this one was spectacular. They even brought it there. It's their Tequila barrel-aged smoked sour ale with grapefruit and lime zest.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yes, and I don't even know what letter that is.
No, I don't know. I can't read it.
Yeah, Poxicana maybe or something to that
We'll
effect.
go with that.
Go ahead, just come in the store and ask for the Wicked Weed tequila.
It's a tequila beer.
Yeah,
What could go wrong? It's a tequila beer, right?
For those who don't say they don't like beers but they like whiskeys, here this is tequila.
Whoa. It is sour though, I'll tell you that. Yeah,
Yep, this is a definite advanced sour.
but there's a tequila at the end.
Yep. Yep, you get a little bit, you get that burnt at the end. And again, it's a light colored beer, so it's much lighter on the palate than the previous two beers, but much more intense flavor.
There's a lot of flavor to that beer. I have no idea how to pronounce this.
I don't even know what that first letter is.
It's not even a letter.
Is it a P? Is it a G?
The internet will tell me later.
There we go.
Because I have no idea. Neat label though.
All right. The next one is everybody's known Southern Tier Pumpkins. It's a great beer. Pumpkin season, fall season around now. It's usually one of the #1 sellers. This one is actually out of my own house, and it's about 2 years old. So this is the
okay.
2016.
So this is
Southern
an
Tier
aged
Pumpkin. So this is
pumpkin ale.
aged, yes. So that's why you're going to get a little bit.
You got a real strong smell there. There's
Yeah.
a lot of pumpkin and spice.
Yeah, a lot of cinnamon, clove, nutmeg.
I've had this beer many times. There's a lot. It's different now.
A lot of the carbonation is also gone.
Yeah, but I'm going to say there's even more flavor to it now than there was.
Absolutely, no question, and just in different ways.
Sure,
In different ways. But yeah,
It's a great beer to begin with.
Yes, yeah, and probably even 1 year is probably plenty of time to age this. But again, if you take a 6-pack and you age your 6-pack and drink one for the next 6 years, each one will taste different. And then last one is a oldie but a goodie. We've done this one on the show many times before.
One of the first beers I think that we reviewed when we were doing it on the other show.
Could be, yep. It's Stegmaier's Pumpkin Ale. It's the local brewery, so it's kind of nice to be supporting the local guys. And it's probably one of the best sweet pumpkins that there is. It tastes more like pumpkin pie than any other beer that we have.
Right, because some pumpkin ales, they tend to not taste like pumpkin. They taste like
Yeah, like cinnamon or nutmeg or a clove or an allspice.
Right, it's more
Yeah.
of a spicy beer
Correct.
than a pumpkin beer.
Yeah. This one literally tastes like a slice of pumpkin pie. And year
Never
after
gets
year,
old.
no, year after year, you keep drinking it. We probably sell as much of the Stegmaier as we do all the other pumpkin beers combined.
It's a nice, solid beer, and it's an affordable beer too.
It's an affordable
That's another
beer.
thing.
You can still drink it like a beer though. It's not like some of the beers, you taste and they're great, and after, you kind of, it's a sipping beer.
Now let's talk a little bit about how you said wouldn't want to age that though.
I don't think I would age this one. Your alcohol content's probably coming in at around like 4.5%. So there's just not enough body to the beer and not enough alcohol in the beer for the fermenting process to continue aging in the beer itself. So, you know, any more than you would age a Coors Light or something, you know, at a certain point.
Well, you know what? I'm aging some Coors Light at my house because no one drinks it.
No, too, it's great.
I kid.
It's great. Sausage, you know, German sausages.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, for Oktoberfest, take your Coors Light, Bud Light, Miller
Absolutely.
Light, dump it in your pot, throw some good Bjornwurst or Breckenwurst or Bratwursts, boil it in the beer. Comes out fantastic.
There you go. All right, guys, don't go away. When we come back, we're taking a trip to Boyd's Cardinal Hollow Winery. We're going to a winery when we come back on Wine, Hops and Road Stops. Don't go away. Welcome back to Wine, Hops, and Road Stops on location here at the Beer Stop. Right now, we're going to go to our road stop, which is Boyd's Cardinal Hollow Winery in Lansdale. Check it out. Right now, our road stop for today is a winery. I know you people have been asking us to do more wineries on the show, so now we're here with Chris Boyd, the owner of Boyd's Cardinal Hollow Winery.
I started making wine back in 1995, just in the basement of my house. It's just a hobby. I started with a 1 little gallon batch that turned into 5 gallon batches that turned into 55 gallon barrels. And that kind of started me down the path of getting my business started. A lot of places you'll go to and you'll never see the winemaker. They're in the back, their job is to just make wine, and you have a salesperson out front that sells, like when you go to California. You'll never meet the winemaker in any of those wineries. You'll have to dig and ask and really stretch to see it. Where me, I'm here talking with people, I'm the one pouring, I'm selling, I'm out at events. It's a great interaction, and I get it all the time when we're at shows and people come up and they're like, wait, you're the winemaker? I'm like, yes, and I'm selling my own wines. And there's definitely not a question I can't answer when it comes to my own wines.
Well, that's true, it is your wine.
You know, there's no secondhand, thirdhand talk. It's you're getting it right from the horse's mouth. And it allows me to make stuff that my customers want. For instance, the jalapeno wine. That was done by a customer walking into my first location, and he saw some of the neat wines I was making and said, hey, have you ever thought about making a jalapeno wine? I'm like, who would drink jalapeno wine? Really? Like, who would drink it? Yeah, one of them. So, lo and behold, I didn't know that there was a huge hot pepper type of crowd out there that just absolutely loved it. Won a silver medal in California and Pennsylvania with it. And
Wow.
It's just fermented jalapenos. There's no flavorings, there's no additives, there's no bases. It's just fermented peppers, and that's why it's so smooth.
Now, I wanted to ask you about that because a lot of times when there's a jalapeno wine, it's usually some kind of white wine with some peppers shoved in it.
No, this is just fermented peppers. Yep. So West Point here, which is close to Lansdale also, is our main winery. Behind the big red doors, over 15,000 gallons of wine production. I bring in grapes, I bring in juice, I bring in the fruit, ferment everything whole. So all my fruit wines are 100% fruit. The strawberry is 1 whole pound of strawberries per bottle, and that covers all my fruit wines. So everything's coming in, fermented by itself, and then stored there. So I'm putting it into tankage, plastic totes, stainless steel totes, oak barrels, depending on the style, like the whiskey mead goes into the whiskey barrels, which I have over 40 of them I just filled up in the back for the next batch. It's a full production facility.
Some wineries only have maybe 10 wines. You're not like that.
No.
You like to experiment, I think,
yes,
huh?
Yeah, I try different things. I'm working on a papaya wine. I'm working on a roasted red pepper and garlic wine. I'm working on some other little neat things that, you know, we'll give them a try. And if they work out, I make bigger batches. If they don't work out, we drink them or use them for cooking. Never throw wine away. You could have it sitting on the counter for a week or 2 weeks and you forget, as you open a cork and it stinks, it's turned to vinegar. Just use it for salad dressings, use it for marinating your flank steak, use it in cooking. Never throw your wine away. Just put the cork back in it, put it back in the fridge.
We have our wine glasses. I think I'm holding it properly. Chris is going to explain to me why I'm doing this and the proper way to taste the wine.
All right, a wine glass is designed this way for 3 reasons. 1, I apologize to anybody that owns stemless wine glasses. They're not wine glasses, they're glorified tumblers. All wine glasses have stems, and they have stems for a reason. That's where you hold the wine glass. I'm pouring white wine in here at 50 to 55 degrees, red wine at 60 to 65 degrees. your hand is 98 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you hold the wine glass this way, you warm up your wine. Second, the wine glass is designed this way so when you swirl your wine around in the glass, it stays in the glass. So also when you go to smell it now, you can stick your whole nose over the edge and let the air come down to the glass and suck up those nice aromas.
And my nose is big enough. So.
So, then for the true tasting part, I mean, sommeliers and wine judges will do it where they actually swish the wine around and then they spit it out because they have 40 wines to do and you can't swallow it, otherwise they'd be hammered by the time they got halfway through it.
True.
But for us, we just enjoy it.
Salud.
Now, that is 100% Pennsylvania wildflower honey.
Wow.
In those Kentucky whiskey barrels. So you got that nice smell of the whiskey. When you taste it, you've got the honey. When you swallow, you get barrel. That char, that caramelization.
Yeah, there's a nice finish to it. It's
Goes great with barbecue food. Think a brisket, a rack of ribs, a roasted chicken, and a glass of mead, and you're set.
That's excellent. That was really good. Now that's a whiskey mead.
That's the whiskey mead, yes.
The finish, ladies and gentlemen, you could really taste that whiskey
Oh, yeah.
right on the back end there. Fantastic.
Excellent. All my meads are at least 2 years old before they're bottled. And that's the biggest mistake that most winemakers make with meads is they don't ferment long enough. Very smooth. Just scored 89 points at the International Mead Competition with it. All right, so this one now is my 100% agave wine. And agave, again, is the cactus, which is chopped down, squished, and you get the juice out of it, which is then fermented. So when you smell it, you're getting tequila.
Yes, I am.
That's all you smell. This is finished off at 17% alcohol, 4% sugar. So all you do is pour it over ice, squeeze a lime on it, and you have margarita. That's it. Very smooth, and
It smells really good.
it is the best tequila you'll ever have because it doesn't burn.
I want to apologize to my wife. I'm sorry I didn't take you with me. Got a hard job today.
We'll have to take one home for it.
Yeah.
See?
Oh, that is smooth. That is.
Smooth as can be.
Anyone that drinks tequila knows at the end there's that bite. There's that tequila-ness.
Yes.
This is very, very, very smooth. It still tastes like tequila though. That's the nice thing about it. Very good.
Yep. This is the unique one, and you're probably smelling it already. Cupuaçu is actually a Brazilian fruit related to the cocoa beans.
Okay.
Only grows in Brazil, all right? However, I'm the only winery in the world making that wine. You don't even have
Ooh,
to get your nose up
yeah.
to the glass. All right? And most people can't really pick up what it is because the fruit is so unique. No one's ever smelled it, no one's ever tasted it. What that actually, the aroma that you're getting is Arabic gum. Raw bubble gum.
Oh, okay.
All right? And then when you go smell it now, you'll be like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
Bubble gum.
Yeah.
All
All right, I get it.
There
Yeah.
it is. Now, when you taste it, you're going to get a little bit of banana in the cheeks and your tongue, and when you swallow, pineapple as a little acid finish.
And you are absolutely right. That's, yeah, nailed it. This is good.
And again, I've had at this point over 12, 13 maybe now, Brazilians come through the winery from Brazil visiting. They said, oh my God, we don't even see that as a wine in Brazil.
That's
and that's
insane.
where the fruit comes from.
Yeah.
Now, this one, you do not swirl.
Okay.
This is a true port. I make two different ports. This is the hazelnut port.
Okay.
So I've used real hazelnuts during the fermentation with the wine. And then in the end, fortify it up with brandy. It is over 6 years old, and it's 21% alcohol, 10% sugar. Oh, you just have a small glass of that.
Wow.
Either reading a book after dinner or watching TV before you go to bed, and that just puts you in the right mood.
You really could taste the hazelnut to it. There's a lot of hazelnut in this. Delicious. Yeah, I could get used to that.
And then for your finish, again, all jalapenos. It's finished around 12% alcohol, 0 sugar. So this is a completely dry, liquid jalapeno wine.
So pretty much the fermentation is just from the peppers, because that's all it's in it, right?
That's it, yes. And it's just smooth. The first sip will get you a little bit of bite on the tongue. You feel it more going down your throat and your back. And
Oh, yeah.
then it just warms you up.
Clearing my sinuses already.
That's exactly right.
But it's not just heat. There's a lot of flavor to this, which is nice because sometimes when you're drinking something that's spicy, it's just heat. Bang, that's it. This has a nice flavor to it, and it's probably because it's the peppers. That's all that's in here, right?
Yes. And that's what a lot of people ask. Is it hot? Well, yes, the capsaicin is in there from the peppers. However, when we chop them up, we take the seeds and the veins out. So you don't get that overbearing bite, that overbearing heat that would come from a normal jalapeno if you just bit right into it.
Let's talk about hours. When are you open here?
At the main winery, 7 days a week, 12 to 6 at least every day. And in the summertime, Fridays and Saturdays, we stay open at 11, close at 7. So a little extra hours. But we also do comedy nights. We do murder mystery. We do game nights here. So we do a lot of neat little events. Here at the main winery also, we do have our own chef and kitchen. So we cater for all our own events. So we can, when you're doing bottle showers and stuff, we do all the food for that also.
Come down, check it out, and that is this episode's Road Stop, Boyd's Cardinal Hollow Winery. Welcome back to Wine Hops and Road Stops right here on WYLN TV 35. If you like what you see, facebook.com/Wine Hops and Road Stops is the easiest way to communicate with me and Alan. Alan, what is new here at the beer stop for the fall? Let's talk about that.
Well, it's fall time, so that means Oktoberfest and pumpkin beers. Pumpkin beers, 4 or 5 years ago, the craze started, and it continues. We probably have 10 to 15 new pumpkin beers coming in every week, and usually by the end of 2-3 weeks, the first batch is gone and the next batch is coming in, because these are kind of, the companies make them, you get one shot at buying them, and then they're gone for the season.
Life's too short to drink bad beer, to drink good beer, and check out the beer stop. And we'll see you next time on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. You're good. Woot! I love Stone's artwork. It brings out the heavy metal in me.
Yeah, and also all the little sayings and
Oh,
things,
yeah,
that he does. I mean, you got to read, if you haven't read the back of a Stone bottle, read the back of a Stone bottle.
They put time into their labels, which is cool,
Yeah.
This one was good. They all were pretty good today.